In the once great village of Umwahianto, there stood a shrine sealed with red cloth and curry-studded charms. The shrine had no priest, no worshippers, and no rituals. It had only one thing inside: a drum. Not just any drum, Equinto, the shadow drum. The elder said it had once belonged to Isyudin, a king whose voice could move rivers and whose wrath could silence a room. The drum had been crafted from the skin of a black panther and the wood of a tree struck by lightning. It was said to contain a spirit, not a god, but something older. The last time it was played was during the Great War between neighboring clans, when Umwahianto was nearly wiped out. The sound of the drum had summoned shadows from the forest, silent, twisted things that danced with blades and vanished into the night, leaving only screams. After the war, the elders sealed the drum and forbade its mention. Until a boy named Ogwefai Namdi decided he wanted to hear it. The curious one. Namdi was 15, clever, and filled with rebellion. His father was an elder, and his mother a skilled storyteller. But Namdi didn't believe in most stories. Old tales for old people, he'd say. We need truth, not fear. He had heard whispers about the drum since he was small. One day, while helping clean the shrine compound, he saw it. An old, faded hut wrapped in red and white cloth, guarded by iron bells and cowries. Why guard something that doesn't exist, he wondered. That night, he asked his grandmother, Mama Ngozi, about the drum. She looked at him like he'd just invited death to dinner. That drum is not music. It is mouth. It speaks for things that don't belong here. Ghosts, he asked. She shook her head. Worse. Shadows that think. They listen from the cracks in the wall. But Namdi's curiosity had already been lit like fire to dry palm leaves. Namdi and his two friends, Obina the hunter's son, and Mecca the orphan, snuck into the shrine under the full moon. They wore black cloth, their faces half covered. Obina held a charm from his father, in case of spirits. Mecca held a bottle of palm wine, in case of fear. Namdi held the key, an old copper nail stolen from the elder's staff hut. The air around the shrine felt thick, heavy. The kind of air that hears you breathe. They cut through the cloth, pushed the creaking door, and entered. There it was. The Equinto, sitting in the center like a sleeping beast. The panther skin drum was cracked but pulsing slightly, as if remembering a heartbeat. Let me play one note, Namdi said. No, Obina whispered. They said it wakes things. Old stories, Namdi replied. He raised a carved stick and struck the drum once. The sound was not a beat. It was a breath. The next day, the sky dimmed, though no clouds hung above. The chickens refused to crow. The dogs howled and dug holes as if trying to hide. That night, someone went missing, the palm wine tapper. Then the healer's wife. Then a child. Each time, the wind would howl through the trees like laughter, and a shadow would be seen moving, tall, thin, faster than thought. Mama Ngozi went to the shrine and found the broken cloth. She screamed. The drum has been played. The elders gathered and called the Dibia, who sat in silence and wept. What did you see? The chief asked. I saw shadows with hands like knives, the Dibia said. I saw voices crawling on the walls. I saw something dancing under the moon. Where? In our village. That evening, Namdi felt cold in his bones. He walked past the stream and saw a man staring at him. No, not a man. Tall, robed in black feathers, face hidden behind a mask carved from charcoal wood, and eyes glowing red behind slits. You called, the figure said. Namdi fell back. I didn't know. You struck the drum. I have heard. Now the dance begins. The figure vanished into shadow. Terrified, Namdi confessed to Mama Ngozi. She did not beat him. She did not cry. She simply whispered, then you must finish what you started. The next morning, the chief's house was found empty. Just claw marks on the ground and the echo of drums in the air. The people began to flee the village. Mama Ngozi called for the Dibia and the remaining elders. This shadow spirit, it is not a demon. It is an echo of the war. The one that was bound in the drum. What does it want? Vengeance, memory, or more blood? The only way to silence it was to face it at the place it was born, Obioki, the old battleground in the hills. And who will go? One elder asked. Namdi stepped forward. I will. Into the belly of memory. Armed with nothing but a goat's horn, a calabash of salt, and the same drumstick he used to wake the drum, Namdi made the journey to Obioki. The land was haunted. Bones still jutted from the ground. War cries echoed on the wind. There, waiting in the field, was the figure in feathers. Play again, the shadow said. I came to silence you, Namdi said. You cannot silence memory. I did wrong. I admit it. But take me, not them. The figure laughed, a dry, crackling sound. You do not bargain with shadows. You dance with them. From the trees, they came, shadows walking on two legs, with long arms and blank faces. They moved like smoke, but each step left a mark on the earth. Namdi blew the goat horn. The sound rang like a scream. The shadows paused. He poured salt in a circle and stood in it. Then he struck the drum again, not with one beat, but with rhythm. A heartbeat. With every beat, he sang, not in words he knew, but in the voice of his ancestors. Let the night remember the day. Let the blood remember the name. Let the drums tell truth, not vengeance. The shadow spirit twitched. Then, it began to fade. Namdi returned to Umwahiata. Behind him, the shadows had melted into mist. The villagers wept with joy. The drum was returned to the shrine, not sealed this time, but watched. Guarded. Honored. Namdi, once a boy of doubt, became a keeper of memory. He learned the old rhythms, not to summon shadows, but to remind them they were seen. Years passed. Namdi became a man. A griot. A drummer. Children gathered around him as he told the tale. Once, I played a drum that was not meant to be heard. But in doing so, I heard the silence we left behind. And I learned this. Not all shadows are enemies. Some are memories, waiting to be danced with. As he spoke, he tapped the side of the drum gently. Not to summon, but to remember.